Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation, what is sensorality? And so we should be able to make a huge reduction, a huge limitation, right? Because we've proven, and it's overwhelmingly empirically obvious, that the present is not well defined. Right? I said when is here, where is here, when is now. So the past is all the things that are set, that is definitive, they will never change, and the future is all the things that haven't happened yet. The present, because it takes some time for me to speak and you to hear, right, the present isn't well defined. But that means in language, we should have our fundamental dichotomy of two, is we have these past tense or parts of language that are set, that will not change, and we have parts of language that will change. And so we've talked about the difference between a series and a sequence. And then obviously sequence, right, it has sense, but it's spelled with an S-E-N-C-E, as well as a consequence with the same type of spelling. And so one of them has to be, right, a series versus a sequence. One of them has to be set, and I'm thinking like the difference between a series and a sequence is time. And so I'm thinking that a sequence is the diction of the verbiage for things in the past, and a series is the things that are not set yet. Could be wrong on that, but it was definitely an intuitive jump. And so I'm thinking the difference between a series and sequence is time, and then more generally throughout all of language, our fundamental stability of two is we have to have some sort of, we don't have to, but I'm heavily intuitively certain that there's a distinct linguistic, a letter difference between words that are set and in the past and words that are open and model or represent the future, which has not occurred yet, and the present is not well defined. So that's what I'm thinking is going on there. And then can we generalize that result? Rhythm connects everything, right? And we've put, all right, everything is discontinuous, and we put a space in between every and thing. We have independent objects that are discrete. They are connected, but they're not touching. And then rhythm connects everything. We're at our momentum. That's our field, so to speak, but you have to get away from thinking of, again, a field. There's a point, a value in every point in space. That verbiage, no, that's why I haven't said it, right? We've derived all of physics. I mean, we have. And so it's like the words that we haven't used and all the like little cliches or buzzwords you hear from structured physics class, those are either irrelevant or they're just not specific enough. I mean, they're not... We've derived all of the things we've needed to derive to have a complete model of physics. And so rhythm connects everything, right? When you're walking down the street and you see a car coming, its pace, its speed, momentum is regulated by rhythm. So that's how you know if you can cross the street before it hits you, or if you're not going to make it. And so again, rhythm sets expectation. That's why, you know, if you dance, again, anything with rhythm. And so that's what I mean by it connects everything. Rhythm flows, right? We have this dichotomy, ebb and flow. Rhythm flows, vibration ebbs. Yeah. Verification validates. Verification is confirmation. Firm is steady. So I definitely had a big intuitive realization about the word steady. Right? Like, what is that? Right? Steady. But steady is stable, right? Smooth and steady, right? Slow is fast is slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Smooth is steady. But steady is stable. Sensorality is steady. Stability is steadiality. Sensorality is steadiality. And now we can see we have that dial in there. So again, we're deriving the entirety, we're logically exhausting both the solution and the question, so to speak. But there's no inherent inconsistency within language. Consistency is steady. Steady does not change. Steady is precise, right? Slow and steady if you're doing something under high pressure and you're a doctor. Slow, steady, steady. You're trying to be precise. Sensorality is concise. Revision updates. Up is high, down is low. Change differentiates. Change is different. Rent, different. Emotion is the response to information. Earlier this morning we talked about sensation, feeling senses, or sensing feels, feeling filters. And that response to you filtering information are your emotions. Sentience produces emotionality. Emotionality is information, right? Someone's happy, sad, angry, content. That's information of how they're doing to you. Sensorality is mationality, right? Just taking the information, generalizing. Marriage is matrimony. Sensorality is matrimoniality. Matrimony unites. Sensorality unites. Sensorality is unitality. Appropriate, appropriality. Sensorality is appropriality. Sensorality is prudentiality, to be prudent, to be disciplined. Sensorality is morbidality. So that is where I finished up with the derivation at the second part for today. Like earlier this morning when you see me like reacting to the lawnmower, when I'm sitting there telling you again, I don't know, 60 episodes ago about just hearing like the brake pads of a car. And so like my derivation starts to go like literally I can start like thinking about the motion of the lawnmower blade. And so it's not even like a choice. It just kind of like happens. But then I do have a great, like I have above, like substantially above average ability to focus. So I can kind of like drown it out, but it like naturally attenuates. And that's really what happens when anybody gets frustrated. If something distracts you, you're thinking, you have a train of thought, and then something breaks that. And so it's just so frustrating I don't have a place to work. And so another quick story is, again, when I get this box back, my mom was the one that sees the mail. So she brings it up to me, I'm sitting in this room. And this is the same room, if you watch the very beginning episodes, it's literally the same bedroom. And so she brings up the box, and she was just like, I'm just like, again, dumbfounded. Because it's the most important mathematical manuscript in history. I told you about the comment this morning about, besides that it just happened in the past, why would this be historically relevant? And it's a full-fledged derivation of mathematics, man. It's the only, the conversation for me ends, it is my right to my writings and my discoveries. And past that, like there's nothing, you can't help people that don't want to listen. You just can't. You can't talk reason to people that are not reasonable. But she comes up to me, and she's like, here's this box, and I know exactly what it is. And I'm just like, what is going on? Pure just a box of work, we covered that. But she was like, she says to me, can you send them a note? And I'm just thinking like, they have everything. Like I do not know what this move was. Because obviously they knew I sent the box. I told them to divert it. Why reject it? Why damage my property? Why damage this manuscript? I have no idea. But again, reasonable people don't make reasonable decisions. But regardless, I live in an environment where they still nobody gets besides me that my work is actually meaningful. My parents understand enough of what's going on, kind of, to like not bother me on certain things, to at least know I've done something of value. But I'm over here trying to preserve actual mathematical history. It's still like, I'm over here selling off stuff at a point in time when I should be like literally memorializing, like literally having, here's all of the stuff that I used and built to have this proof in this derivation. And I'm literally selling it for like market value, because legitimately having a couple extra $1,000 is more valuable to me than all of this stuff. I hope you guys are collecting it behind closed doors, but why continue to act like I have not done anything and causing me this profound amount of stress, exposing me to all of these crimes? And again, I'm just sitting over here waiting for the stupid fucking IRS to audit me illegally. I don't need to pay taxes because I have never made a net income, all because of the crime being committed by the government. So I'm sitting over here trying to take legal action against the government, and I'm sure I'm going to get extorted again. I am over here in possession of these massive mathematical manuscripts. And there's extra notes and extra theorems. My whole derivation notebooks. It's just a full one subject notebook with nothing besides dichotomistic pairs, which are the connection of words, which is universal. Like you can go find any book, and those are the words that are going to be connected to one another. And then straight up theorems as well. And so there's a ton of science and derivation there you guys have not even seen. Like they're not in these lecture videos. They're written down, little notes, little geometric relations between the letters. And so again, I keep saying that because again, Tatiana Toro will continue to accumulate the damages as on a personal level. as long as she is in my mind for this crime. Because remember, I am a scapegoat. I am the victim of crime. It has never alleviated. All that ever happens is someone commits genuine crime against me. I have no path of recourse, no legal ramifications for them, and then nothing happens. And so I sit and I rot in anxiety and in uncertainty. It is all illegal. And then 2 months go by, 3 months go by, 6 months go by, and just hopefully nothing happens. And then there's no resolution, there's no resolve. Just something else, some other bullshit happens, and I have to focus on that. That has been my whole life. That has been my whole entire life. And all I've asked for is that to stop, the ability to eat, the ability to sleep, and the ability to work. And I can't do that. I mean, I've been actively seeking asylum. I've been offering money to pay whatever schooling. Again, obviously I can't do anything. And the people around me do not understand that. Right? It is gaslighting at the highest level that has ever existed possible. And it's just so profoundly disrespectful. So I cannot emphasize to the people of the future, show absolutely, categorically no respect to anybody, quote unquote, working today. They are doing nothing besides causing profound death and suffering throughout the society. They deserve no respect. They have no dignity. They have no character. They commit crimes that are genuine, prolific crimes, not little bullshit. And they've sabotaged the educational progress for the entire planet. So that is what I have for you for derivation today. I continue to be the victim of crime. It is profound and extensive torture. There's nothing I can say. There's nowhere I can go, and there's no one I can call. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.